Today our topic is what Aristotle can teach us about happiness. Aristotle, one of the greatest philosophers in history, believed that happiness is the main goal of human life. But his idea of happiness is not just about feeling good or having fun. It is deeper and more meaningful. He called it Eudaimonia, which means living well or flourishing. According to Aristotle, true happiness comes from living a life of virtue, purpose, and balance. Let's explore his ideas and see how they can help us live a happier and more fulfilling life. First, Aristotle believed that happiness is not something that happens to us by chance. It is not about luck or external things like money, fame, or power. Instead, happiness is something we create through our actions and choices. He said that every person has a purpose, and fulfilling that purpose is the key to happiness. For example, a knife's purpose is to cut, and a good knife is one that cuts well. Similarly, a person's purpose is to live a virtuous life, and a happy person is one who lives that life well. This means that happiness is not a destination, it is a journey. It is about how we live every day and the choices we make. Aristotle also believed that happiness comes from developing virtues. Virtues are qualities like courage, kindness, honesty, and wisdom. These are not just good traits, they are habits that we practice every day. For example, being honest is not just about telling the truth once in a while. It is about making honesty a regular part of your life. Aristotle said that virtues are the middle ground between two extremes. For example, courage is the middle ground between being too fearful and being too reckless. Kindness is the middle ground between being selfish and being overly selfless. By practicing virtues, we find balance in our lives, and this balance leads to happiness. But how do we develop virtues? Aristotle said it takes practice and effort. Just like learning to play an instrument or a sport, we get better at virtues by doing them over and over. At first, it might be hard to be patient or brave, but with time and practice, these qualities become part of who we are. Aristotle also believed that we need good role models to learn from. Watching how virtuous people act can inspire us and show us how to live better lives. This is why surrounding ourselves with good people is so important. Their habits and actions can influence us in positive ways. Another important idea from Aristotle is that happiness comes from using our unique talents and abilities. He believed that every person has something special to offer the world. When we use our talents and do what we are good at, we feel a sense of purpose and fulfillment. For example, if you are good at painting, painting can bring you joy. If you are good at helping others can make you happy. Aristotle said that we should not waste our talents or ignore them. Instead, we should develop them and use them to contribute to the world. This is how we find meaning in life. Aristotle also taught that happiness depends on our relationships with others. He believed that humans are social creatures, and we need friends and family to be truly happy. But not just any friends. Aristotle said we need good friends who share our values and support us in becoming better people. These kinds of friendships are based on mutual respect and care, not just on fun or convenience. Good friends challenge us, encourage us, and help us grow. They are there for us in good times and bad times. Aristotle believed that these deep, meaningful connections are essential for a happy life. At the same time, Aristotle warned against relying too much on external things for happiness. He said that things like money, fame, and material possessions can be useful, but they are not the source of true happiness. If we focus too much on these things, we may never be satisfied. There will always be something more to want, and we will always feel like we are missing something. Instead, Aristotle said we should focus on things that are within our control, like our actions, our thoughts, and our character. These are the things that truly shape our happiness. Aristotle also believed in the importance of self-reflection. He said that to live a good life, we need to think about our actions and decisions. We need to ask ourselves questions like, am I living according to my values? Am I practicing virtues? Am I using my talents? Am I building good relationships? By reflecting on these questions, we can see where we are doing well and where we need to improve. Self-reflection helps us stay on the right path and make better choices. One of the most interesting ideas from Aristotle is that happiness is not just about the present moment. It is about the whole of our lives. He said that we cannot judge whether someone is truly happy until we look at their entire life. This is because life is full of ups and downs. Sometimes we face challenges, and sometimes we experience joy. Happiness is about how we handle all these experiences and how we grow from them. It is about living a life that we can look back on with pride and satisfaction. Aristotle's teachings remind us that happiness is not something we can find outside of ourselves. It is something we build within ourselves through our actions, our relationships, and our character. It is about living a life of purpose, balance, and virtue. It is about using our talents, helping others, and being part of a community. It is about being the best version of ourselves. So, how can we apply Aristotle's ideas to our own lives? Here are a few practical steps. First, think about your purpose. What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? How can you use your talents to contribute to the world? Second, practice virtues every day. Be kind, be honest, be brave, and be wise. These qualities will help you find balance and build strong relationships. Third, surround yourself with good people. Seek out friends who share your values and support your growth. Fourth, focus on what you can control. Don't waste energy on things that are outside of your control, like other people's opinions or external circumstances. Instead, focus on your actions and your character. Finally, take time to reflect. Think about your life, your choices, and your goals. Are you living in a way that makes you proud? Aristotle's teachings are timeless. They remind us that happiness is not about having everything we want. It is about becoming the best version of ourselves and living a life of purpose and meaning. By following his advice, we can create a life that is not only happy, but also deeply fulfilling. So, let us take inspiration from Aristotle and strive to live a life of virtue, balance, and purpose. Let us build happiness from within and share it with the world.